so the jungle has been very neglected over the last couple of weeks. Low watering needs to be done, some pruning back of dead leaves, and just a general check for pests, given that the Hoyas had some scale. So we'll probably just treat everything. You can hear the cats running around. The dog is on the couch just in front of you, so his little head will probably pop up at some point. And yeah, let's get started. This is dead. Like, it's just a syngonium. I think it was a fantasy. So that one is going outside. These are the two newest purchases that I have. This is the Monstera Velmax Flame. She is beautiful. I love her. I'm actually going to get my dusting cloth real quick. It was right here anyway. Yeah, I love Monstera. They are the OG plants that I first bought. I had them all through my childhood, and I think this one is going to be stunning once she starts fenestrating when she's grown up a little bit. The other one I've got is this, it is just a trifasciata, so it's the normal mother-in-law's tongue, but this is the Bantel's, should be wet on the bottom, Bantel's Sensation cultivar, so I think it's really pretty. Got a pup there. I have chopped and propped this one. Still waiting for that to root. I think it's in one of the window boxes. But yeah, they are just here because they've already been watered. Also, very sad string of pearls, which I forgot to water, so I'm going to put her in a bath to soak while we do this. The dog's about to yell at the postman. Again, the third time today. Alright, old candle jar. Nope, not going to fit in that one. So we'll just give her a big bite. Cool. Okay, now how I have my watering set up is cat litter tray, clean, on top of my plant trolley, which you can't see because it's behind the couch. And then just a oven cooling rack, and then we just pop stuff on, let it drain. So I'm going to start with some of the stuff hanging in the window because that's usually what dries out quickest. Okay, so the little ones from the window, we have the zigzag cactus. I got this on clearance. You can actually still see because I've never repotted it, the clearance sticker on it. And I've nearly killed it about 3 times, but finally worked together to figure it out. And now she seems happier. Same with my holiday cactus. Nearly killed it a bunch of times. I think I have killed a couple of them, but she's pretty happy now. So that's lovely. And then I always just have syngoniums everywhere. And this is the Monstera Siltepecana. This was behind one of the heartleaf philodendrons that's hanging there, and we couldn't actually see it, so it didn't get watered for a long time. So she's coming back, but she's a bit sad. Let's give them a water, and then I'll trim these leaves off. This is just tap water. with a little bit of Manucheck Garden Care Nitro Plus for leaves and herbs. Sometimes I will put a squirt of dishwashing liquid in as well if I feel like the soil is getting a bit hydrophobic. Usually when you top water like this and really soak everything and let it drain, the soil doesn't get as hydrophobic. And the water that goes into the drip tray, I will reuse as long as I don't see any pests anywhere. As soon as there is pests, we'll just change it out. I also have a big watering can that has some starch water that's been fermenting. So I might use that as well once I've run out of this one, which is about now. I'm not super fussy about dead leaves, but when there is a lot, I do tend to get a bit rotted, and that's never good. So yeah, every now and again, when I do some nice deep watering and actually check everything, it's good to just get these dead bits out of the way. So this Siltepecana can be grown trailing or climbing. This one's obviously trailing because she's in a hanging pot. But yeah, you can see how much I've had to sort of wind around at the top there. And pick up, and then we have this very long bit that's happy on the end. Free pick. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, now, and she also has a bit of sphagnum moss on the top here, just for that extra moisture. Okay, now I'm going to take the big ones down. So these guys just have to chill on the table for a minute. So yeah, it doesn't actually take that long to completely water like this. The flower is so pretty. I'll show you a close up. Yeah, it's not something that I do every week, but it never actually takes as long as I think it's going to. It's really good to give everything a super big soak, a good check over, and also just to sort of get to know your plants. You guys go that way. Don't catch that. Okay. Now step over the cat bed area. Now these bigger pots only fit on here 2 at a time. This is the philodendron heteroecium, which is the heart leaf, and this is the variegated cultivar. Actually, I'll show you this side where it's a little bit more lush. The variegation on this is not particularly pronounced, even though it's in the most well-lit space in the house at the moment. But it is winter, so we can forgive her. a spider plant. I love spider plants. So these, like your original Monstera deliciosa and your spider plants are, I don't know, they're so easy to care for. They look good if you look after them. This one regularly gets chewed by the cats, which is fine. It's totally safe for them to eat it. It does get them high. And we have some interesting photos of Suki after nomming on one of these, being quite mellow. It's really funny, like I bring this out and there's a cat at your feet and she's just staring at this like yum yum yum. If I leave it on this watering station too long, they will just jump up and start chewing on it. I'm gonna risk that while I go and get my watering can. Okay, big watering can, and oh, very heavy. So yeah, this has got some fermented starch water, I guess, from me washing some rice and some lentils. And then I just use the rinse water, put it straight into the can, let it sit for a couple of days to ferment, and that gets a lot of good bacteria. This one needs a little bit of dishwashing liquid. Hi Mallow. Do you want to eat the spider plant? Yeah, that soil's compacted right away from the edge. But I also keep getting hair on my face. Right, put the apron on so I can wipe my hands on myself without feeling bad, and I can get the hair out of my face. Okay, these guys are done. We actually have a waterproof rug under these. So it doesn't matter if they're still dripping a teeny bit when I hang them back up, but I do like to try and drain them as much as possible. I also never put them back up in the same configuration. Spin them around. Alright, I'm going to the heart leaf. This thing is huge. So yeah, same plant. This one just doesn't have the variegation. And I've also had this one for a little bit longer. I do have some cuttings from this that need to be popped in, so some water in it, and we might do that. Come on. Akito. going in there. Alright, this guy is very overdue for a water. Sometimes with the hanging plants, I just kind of tip some water in while they're still hanging and hope for the best. But it's not the nicest way of doing things. And these Tradescantia definitely need more water than some of the plants. Give me a dip, please. This one, which is your traditional Tradescantia, I got from a cutting years ago, and I've just had various iterations of it ever since. Super easy to propagate. You literally just cut a chunk off and shove it in the soil. But yeah, sometimes I've had it die completely. So still haven't figured this one out. I know it needs a lot more water than I'm currently giving it. And yeah, these bits that I'm pulling out are where I've tried to propagate it and it just hasn't struck before it's dried out. There's a couple of different types in here. This is a much thicker one. I'm not happy. Yeah, so this is thick green one as well. And then this Warrior, I think it's called. But yeah, they're all Tradescantia types. Yeah, I think this yellow one is very happy. But I think the yellow part is closest to the north facing window, so it might have been a little burnt. We'll put it back. Opposite way. I'll give you a soak. Okay, now heart leaf cuttings. I just always have cuttings. Oh, that's good. These are actually not as far along as I would like, so we'll leave them for now. I'll put them back in the library later. So my friend, you can get on back up if you let go of your neighbour. And then yeah, we'll hang this one with the yellow facing away from the brighter light. Okay, now those are back up. These guys can also go back up. I have to get in there to do this. Okay. Next up, we have this little burgundy ficus elastica, and then this Tradescantia, which is actually coming back quite well. And then this is Cape Ivy. which is actually a senecio. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And I've never, this is another one that I've never been able to make happy. I've had it in the window, the wall, light, different light settings, different moisture settings. It doesn't like me. And sometimes it just does be like that. I don't know if you can see the soil change colour from where you are, but it's pretty cool with these clear pots that you can see everything getting hydrated and check your root development. I do try and put things in cover pots as well, but actually really hard to find cover pots for this size. This is the Hastatum, it's the silver sword. Again, I can't make this one happy. The pole's actually nice and damp at the moment, which is good. But yeah, at one point, lost all the leaves. There's a couple of plants in here. So there's this main one, this little bubby, which I'm trying to get towards it. And then just this little offshoot from that main stem. Silver swords do like to stay more wet than other things do. Which is why this pole is still plastic wrapped, even though it is the middle of winter. I'm going to put some more moss. Pop some more moss in here as well while I'm here. See if I can get that a bit heavier. These are the Leafy brand Moss Pole 3.0, and they are fantastic. Highly recommend these front opening ones. I have the honeycomb as well, and they're nowhere near as good as these. I am just shoving this in dry, and then we'll put a dripper on it with just a little bit of water because this pole's already quite hydrated. Where is a drip? Oh, there's one. These are the Leafy brand drippers, as you can see. And they're just really handy. I have 4 of them because I have a lot of moss poles, and I just rotate them around. They do splash. There we go. And that will just drip through. Dampen that off. The rest, well, most of the rest of my ficus are in pots too big to move. A little overview of the ficus forest. So this is the Elastica teneki, very happy. As you can see, it's still popping out leaves even in the middle of winter. Over here by the window, getting some nice light. Oh, it's so hard to maneuver a phone between leaves. This is the umbellata. It does need to be turned, but that's also very happy. And then the alii. I was sold this as a longiflora. It's not. The longifolia has much wider leaves. This is that other Philodendron domesticum, one of them that I got off that original cutting. Very happy in a pot with soil that's old and hasn't been updated for a very long time. Over there in the corner is the fiddle leaf fig, Ficus lyrata. She's never happy. They never are. They want to be outside. This is my oldest ficus, or maybe the Audrey's the oldest. Anyway, this is the Benjamina. It's been quite unhappy. You can see there's lots of bare twigs. I needed to put a light on it. So this disco ball is going to have a grow light next to it that will just hang from the ceiling just to light up this corner, because with the patio there and that wall there, this corner just doesn't get enough light. Here is the Audrey. She was unhappy for this much time, and then she started being happy. She does need to be tied back up to that pole because they are inside. Oh, hey Tunes. Because they are inside, they don't get any wind blowing the trunks. It's especially noticeable on that lyrata trunk where they're all very skinny and bendy. The wind, when it blows, actually strengthens the trunk, makes them grow thicker. And if there's no wind, they just grow spindly, because why would they need to be thick when there's no protection? But as a result, as they get taller, they tend to flop. This is the, I'll just move this light. Hey, you can see now. This is the Triangularis, also not super happy. It is the Teneki leaf variegation one. I got it from Bunnings. It actually cost a fair amount of money, even though I got it on sale. I think it was 120 or maybe 100, down from 250. It has grown maybe 4 or 5 centimeters since I got it. Yeah, unhappy. Hopefully when I get that grow light on it, it will cheer up. And this is the newest. This is another Benjamina. This is the Midnight Beauty. So nice dark glossy leaves. And as you can see, this one is quite a bit more full than my poor older one. She's still putting on new growth though, so I'm happy with her, but yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. I will trim off some of the bottom branches. I have taken some branches out of the middle, just to start shaping her a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, that's the ficus forest. There is one more to show you, which is the bonsai. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so this little dude with his slightly rude protuberance is the ficus microcarpa. I got this one from Carnup Arid Nursery. They very kindly held it for me for a little while. And yeah, I will bonsai this eventually. It's going to go with this rock on it. So once I have already lifted it, you can see the brown here, and the brown here where I've moved it and lifted it. But I will just slowly do that until more and more of the root is exposed and turns to cortex kind of. But yeah, it is growing as well. This bit has had all its leaves eaten by cats. These bits need to be trimmed off. I just think that's hilariously funny because I have a dirty mind. But yeah, I'm just sort of getting the shape of the cortex, focusing on that for now. I'm ready for bonsai. And I finally, at the Medieval Fest, got a big enough chunk of rose quartz that I'm happy I can start root wrapping. Because this summer is going to be the summer of bonsai. I have that tree, I have an Agonus flexuosa, a dark variety of that, and I have a Queensland bottle tree which is starting to cortex up. So that will be an exciting adventure. Alright, Philodendron by Penifolium. This is a horse head. So while I've got him out, I will also grab the Florida. Very sad little cutting in there. You'll be fine, mate. Alright, now, getting the Florida is easier said than done. I'm sure I've gone off the top of where you're able to see, so she's big, she's beautiful. Imagine if it was the Florida Beauty, which is the variegated one, but they're still so expensive in Australia. So I got this when it was like, had like 2 leaves. It's tiny, and I've grown it up. Moss pole does make it grow super fast. But this was, I think, $30, and the ghost was $180 for the same size. And I don't care about variegation that much. It's nice, but yeah, there's better things I can be spending my money on, like more plants rather than white plants. Okay, now I think these poles are pretty dry. Yep. Yeah, very dry and crusty. So I will grab my other 2 drippers which are on top of the piano. Alright, admittedly I am incredibly short, so be careful. Don't be silly. So yeah, as you can see, this is the honeycomb version. That needs some more bamboo. And yeah, I don't think there's enough room for growth. When I first got these moss poles, I wanted to get as much vertical space as possible, so I didn't put them all the way to the bottom of the pots, and that was a mistake because yeah, some of them were a bit wobbly. Okay, put these guys back. They're actually going to be quite heavy now, actually. Yeah, between sort of watering the soil and putting a dripper in them, they get pretty heavy pretty quickly. Actually, I'm going to have to change out this water. Okay. Oh, I was going to top that up. So yeah, once the tray is full, you just put it back in the watering can. You might need to do this.
Oh, okay, well, don't continue to do it. Excuse me, overlords.
Here, put it on here.
Allow me to wreck the place. Okay.
It's a practice start. Less tipping.
Less tipping. Okay.
Yeah, not sure why that's in there.
Why not? Oh, getting on the couch, babe.
Huh?
Death. It's okay. It'll dry.
Pretty sure that was you when you picked it up.
Excuse me.
Okay, so here we have another. Here we have a chair in my way. Another hederaceum. This is the Brazil. I do have a Rio as well. Is there? Okay, so the other day I filmed a really long video where we found out that the top part of this had rotted, so we fixed the rot and we saved the node that this leaf is on, even though the leaf is sort of dying back. Planted it in, sprayed everything with some peroxide where it was ganky. And we did a whole heap of stuff. So I'll just walk you through later what you missed. But we're going to continue on with the checking and watering because I just need to finish the rest of this area. I have 2 cats with me, Chippy and Mallow, and they're just chilling around. And if you hear the little tick, 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 that is Echo's nails on the lino. Okay, I'm going to put this one back because she has been watered and she is fine. And then I'll see if I can remember where we got up to. Okay, now that I know the tenue didn't get watered. Oh, actually, first I'm going to tip the water that's already in here into back into the watering can. You're making a nest. Lie down then. Good boy. All right. Now I have not found any pests yet. Touch wood. So we can still keep using the same water, although I will need to top it up at some point because these plants are thirsty. All right, I'll take this off. I really like the philodendron tenue. I don't know if it has a common name. A couple of dead leaves. And it seems to appreciate the moss pole. I don't know, do you have a bug, that leaf? It's a little bit, it might just still be soft. I don't even know if you can actually see up that high. But anyway, I might give it a spray tonight with some isopropyl alcohol. I won't do it today because it's actually sunny. And then, yeah, there's this new growth point coming off here, which needs to be attached to the moss pole. So we'll do that, and then we'll give her a water and pop her back where she belongs. Right. This is always tricky when the leaves are growing towards the moss pole. You also have to remember that this is quite a hard plastic, like quite a rigid. I'm just going to take that old leaf sheaf off. Yeah, it's quite a rigid plastic. It has to be to kind of hold up, but the edges can be pretty sharp on a new baby leaf. I think this is actually, here is actually a new, so that's the one we just did. Here is a new growth point as well. Or maybe that's just the second plant that's in there. I don't know, it is 2 plants. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on that leaf. This one is fine. I just love the pattern on them. They're so lovely. It's just, it's like, it looks like what a velvet leaf looks like, but not velvet, if that makes sense. Like it's exactly the same as the Splendid, just not velvet. Okay, let's give you a good water. This pot also features a random cow vertebra, as you do. Put a little bit in the back here. And we'll take out this. Ooh. It's done its job and made that hole nice and moist. And just top off a bit of that moss. Just move out the way, please. Oh, come on. Moss shower. Any little bits of moss that sort of fall around the place, I usually just put in the next soil mix that I make. It's a lot easier to do this when the moss is wet. Okay, now I want the stem in, but I want this new leaf that's forming out. And again, super hard to do without accidentally cutting bits that are so young and soft. My dexterity is not it. Okay, I'm just gonna get some water and spray that moss, which I probably should have done before. If you can see how spray bottle has definitely seen better days. If you put water on the front, it tends to just run off down the front and not actually penetrate. So yeah, it's better to have water at the back. Oh, sorry, Abigail. And I'm just going to put that back here if I... And again, the 10 use one where it's fine if it stays a little bit damp, hence putting it back when it's still dripping. Okay, I've got this little piece of leaf, variegated, which definitely needs a lot of water. I'll take this out to show you. This is the Monstera Eldorado. Some of it has seen better days. I do want to put this on a moss pole when I get around to doing my next order with the Leafy brand. And the new growth on this one is quite nice. This soil is holding water quite well, and this is in a cover pot. So that leaf has snapped off. Sometimes it's not even a problem of the cats. This is actually an old leaf. This was the leaf that was attached to the node when I got the cutting. Sometimes the cats, it's not them eating stuff, it's them knocking it over, because that was just, so where that's split, it was like, so cat weight on there. That one can go back because she's still down. Oh, actually, there's quite a bit of water in that cover pot, which is never a good thing. And this little mother-in-law's tongue is also damp enough. I do have the moss in this one because it's in such a small pot. So I will bring over the dubia. Hilarious thing. So I didn't think when I put this on wood about the fact that the wood needed to be not planed. So yeah, it's still not happy, even though I gave it a wood to climb up. This is a shingling plant. Quite a bit of this down here is dead now, so I'll cut that off. This was like 5 meters or something of 5 meters of leafless vines. So when we put it in here, we just kind of wrapped a whole heap in the hope that some of the nodes in the soil would grow, and some did. So it's easy to get out. But yeah, there's a lot of bits that just didn't failure to thrive, I guess you could say. But the bits that did, it's quite a, as you can see, vigorous plant. The leaves are just still super small because it's not shingling properly. So, oh, you can see a little bit of shingling on the back where it's got these big leaves here where they're actually attached to the wood. And it's beautiful. It's just, it's a stunning plant when it does that. But yeah, you've got to have the right wood for it to work. And yeah, so repotting this is going to involve chopping it up and redoing the mount, which I'm not too worried about. I know it grows, and it does grow quite quickly, so it'll be fine if we have to start again. I might even just leave this plant as is and then just chop some of these, because there is lots of bits of new growth that I could chop and prop. Get this one some water. This is my 3rd variegated peace lily. still have not cracked the code. And then behind here, whoa, can I get you, move Monstera please, is, oh, it's also very dry. It needs some staking. This is Syngonium macrophyllum. Again, beautiful Syngonium. You can see the cat damage on it, where they've had a little bit of a nibble. Also, that looks like it needs a little bit of soil wetter. And when I say soil wetter, I definitely just mean dish detergent, because it's all the same thing. There's lots of things, there's lots of people that are like, don't use dish detergent, don't use starchy water from rice. People say a lot of stuff like that, and I'm like, it's worked for ages. Like, people do that. Yeah, sure, there are, I want to say chemical substitutes, but like more synthetic substitutes maybe now, and that's great if you can afford that. But I'm going to use the stuff I already have, which is free. I mean, if I'm cooking rice, it doesn't take much to save the rinse water and just leave it a couple of days to ferment. Okay. Finding string and scissors is the bane of my existence. I bought at one point enough scissors to have a pair on every cart, because I've got kitchen carts and library carts, and one on every cart and one pair in every room and 2 pairs in the kitchen. Do you think I can find a pair of scissors to save my life ever? They just grow legs, I swear. All right, I am gonna see if I can push some dirt down to stabilize this pole a little bit more. There we go. Put my apron on. It's all right. This dress can get a bit mucky. And then we're gonna do it at each node that is here. So there's just 2. This also could definitely go on a moss pole. And I'm sort of considering doing that. It's just on a stake at the moment because I don't have any moss poles. And also I'm too busy spending my money on groceries to do a leafy brand order. Cost of livings, my dudes. We are in a dystopian capitalist hellscape, so we have to find joy where we can. Anyway, I love Syngoniums. You guys all know that. This one is beautiful. Look at the veination on the back with that beautiful reddish purple. The leaves are just that stunning. Like, it's the Syngonium shape, but it's the real jungle Syngonium, not the arrow. I don't know if this one splits. It probably does, because most of them fenestrate at some point in their mature form. I'll see if I can find a picture of a mature one for you. Pop it in. But yeah, I love this plant. I think she's gorgeous. This and the chia pets that I had when we started this video, I think they're beautiful, beautiful plants. Okay, you can go there, because I have to, actually no, I'll pick that up first. Right, put her back. All right, now this, I did mention it in the other video, but I'm not sure if it was before Jillian accidentally turned it off or not. Okay, this one has this bamboo pole in it, so it's not going to fit up here. So what we will do is we will put this darling back. This one doesn't like to be too wet. And also the wood is quite heavy, so I have to have that one in the center of the table in case the cats knock it. Most other things are pretty okay. There's one that I'll get out to show you, has a rock in the pot to stabilize it because otherwise it's too top heavy. But most everything, the poles are fairly situated in and they don't cause too much trouble. Okay, how are we going to do? We fit on the table. Really? Wow. Rotate down here because this does need a good water, and it also needs the moss pole. Okay, that's still damp. She's okay, she will wait another day. All right, so this is 2 monsteras. I did have 3 in here. One must have died off. And they've gotten so thick that I can't actually push them in, well, the second one into the moss pole. So it's not happy, but I am trying to train the aerial roots down into the moss pole so they at least can get some water and some more nutrients. Put some moss in there. And this is the plant. This is the one that reverted. This is a top cutting of it. The actual mother is in a big pot over there. She has not, she's stayed reverted. But this one, this is a top cutting, and where are we? So this is the leaf with the most variegation, and then the other side of the stem is green. That's the next one up, okay. And this one has slightly less. So this was the leaf when I was like, oh, that's coming back variegated. But if you go down the stem, like, yeah, so the next leaves down, which is these 2 and this little one here, and this one on this side, totally green. So you can see why I thought it was completely reverted. Oh, it looks like this other cutting that's in here is also a top cutting of the variegated one. It's a burnt leaf. Where are we? But no variegation on that. Yeah, I don't actually mind. I am going to get rid of that because that is sticking over. It's got scale on it. Monsteras are magnets for scale. Yeah, I don't know. It's nice when they come back, especially when you pay $100 for them. Yeah. Right, watering. Because she's sitting on a chair, just one of the dining room chairs. A bit of a lean, so I have to do this slowly. Right, I'm going to use that other tie. Because I do want her to remain quite is about to pop out yet another new leaf, which is quite nice. She's very happy. All right. Now I'm going to put her onto the table and hopefully not break the light or the roof. Stay, sit, stay. And I tip this back into our watering can. I don't have a lot of room here because there's cat beds at my feet. One cat in the other cat moved. But there's also this Philodendron domesticum, which is one of my OG plants. I took a cutting from the UWA gardens many moons ago. And I've got like 4 plants of it. And they're doing it. This one is actually in water. We call it the soup. There is quite a few plants in here. I will show you up close later. But yeah, it's encroaching. Luckily the cats don't eat that. All right, so this is the one with the rock. So we have the rock. Now this is the Monstera Adansonii laniata. It's very dry. Sorry, baby. I love these forms for Monstera. Just this, yeah, slightly teardrop leaf, but with the side angle. I don't know, I think it's great. And of course, she's super happy on this pole. So you've got your fenestrations up the top. These yellowing leaves are because I have been remiss in watering. You watch the comments go nuts because I'm just snipping off the dead bits. But I mean, they're dead. It's not going to hurt the plant anyway. And it just makes it look a little nicer. There is, when you cut like this, there is always a risk of introducing infection or rot in where you've cut, because it's a cut. It's open. It's like an open wound, just like you would have an open wound if you cut your finger. But I've never really had any issues with doing this. Gosh, it's quite a bit of it. I'm sorry, girl. Some of my plants are girls and some of them are boys. Does anyone else have that? My car's a girl. I know that's I leave those ones, they're not too bad. I know that's anthropomorphizing a lot, but because like I know cars, plants, they don't have gender. Gender is a social construct. But the neurodivergent parts of my brain like to determine gender for various inanimate objects. Okay, I promise I will water you more diligently from now on. And yeah, you can see this has come, can you see? This has come right off the pole. Like there's like vines everywhere. And I've got quite a few cuttings. This, Actually, this is just the Adansonii, the normal one. So that means the ones for this are over there. Yeah, got some roots. Propagation just, when it's this easy, becomes super addictive. Who doesn't want more plants? For free. Well, almost for free. Hey, there's a bit of fertilizer in there, there's water. It's time. You do have to keep an eye on them. And then you do have to, well, you don't have to uppot them, you can grow them in water, as our Domesticans friend lets us know. But all right, we have 5 more. I'm gonna go fill my watering can up. I seem to have 2 full bottles. Not complaining. Actually, before I forget, while that's filling up, bring this over. Check how. Totally overfilled the watering can. And sorry, Jillian, I put some water on the laundry floor. And just putting a squirt of, it's the Earth Care grey water and septic safe dishwashing liquid. I'm not sure what an anionic surfactant and a non-ionic surfactant and an amphoteric surfactant is. I'm guessing it's just 3 different types of soap. Okay. And given that I don't seem to have any bamboo sticks, we shall use an M10 zinc plated bolt. The bolts are for my flower pressing. Yeah, it's just a pressed flower presser. My brain's not working. Yeah, this actually doesn't need watering, and I think it's because it's just had the moss pole done, the full thing. So yeah, this is Monstera lechleriana. I think that's how you pronounce it. I am not actually sure. I'm just going to wrap this back around the bottom to keep that moist. This was quite expensive. It was $40. It was originally on a moss pole made by the person I bought it off, which was Lake Clifton Garden Centre. And I didn't like the moss pole, so I took it off and really carefully took the moss that was around the roots and put it on this one. And you can see already, I did that maybe 2 months ago, and I don't know if you can see from there, but there's roots all through here. It's very, very happy. It's also got some new, told you that one was wobbly. It's got some new growth points. So this leaf here is from a new growth point, and this is going to be a new leaf as well. And on top of that, I do have a whole heap of top cuttings. So it did have quite big leaves with the fenestrations, but it was on a very skinny stem that was yay tall. These are doing really well. These are rooting quite well in here. So when they're done, I will just pop half of them straight into this one. Make that nice and bushy. We could probably do one of those now. Okay, so this one, you can see it's still got sphagnum moss on it. So this was already rooted into the moss pole when I snipped it. So that one's going to be good. You can see the water roots have developed. And this one just highly variegated. So we're going to plant these two in. Take that back off. Take that bit out. Okay, now this soil is very nice and crumbly and moist. Try not to get it into the water, and try not to disturb any roots from that mother plant. Just fine, it's all good. Okay. And I'm not gonna put these leaves into the moss pole because leaves don't need the moss pole. That's not gonna do anything. But I am going to hold them with that plastic wrap that I just put on and then took off. Okay, cool. So I'm just trying to assemble the roots so that they will be happy, but also so that that plastic can hold them in. Okay, I'm going to pack that down too tight because they are water roots. It needs to develop some air roots. So yeah, I'm going to put the plastic, there we go. I don't know, there's a lot of people that say to not water propagate, but I've always had great success, like better success with that than soil propagations. Although I am trying some seed snails for my winter hardwood cuttings this year. I'll do a video on that, let you know how they go. Take this out because she is done. Okay, now this one goes on this plant stand. The reason it was on the table is because the cats knocked it over the other day. So I'll put it back on the plant stand. Oops, get rid of the sleeping kittens and sleeping Chippy. And I've put some rocks on the bottom of the plant stand. So hopefully the cats can't knock it over. Kittens are wild. Like, they're just so much energy. Can't relate. All right, this is very sad. Oh, but it's always been very sad. Ooh, it hates me. You can see that there is spider mite damage. It doesn't actually have active spider mites right now. It has been treated within an inch of its life, but yeah, leaves are very unhappy. It also, it's a crawler, and I'm trying to make it a climber, and it doesn't appreciate it. This is the Philodendron gloriosum. It is velvet, and it's not badly damaged with spider mites. I don't know. If I can't get it to work, I can't get it to work, but hopefully this new leaf will be pretty and bug-free. That would be nice. Also, yeah, I get these skulls Halloween, and I just have them all over the house because it should be Halloween for longer. Because this hasn't unfurled at all. I'm just trying to get right to the base, which is hard because this leaf is really butted against it. And very, very gentle. No pressure on the stem, just guiding it. I'll give you a big water because you need it. Try and saturate every single bit of the soil. That way any salts or mineral buildup is all drawn down and out, rather than salts and mineral buildup tend to come up to the surface. And top watering like this and letting it drain through basically rinses it all off. What it does do though, which bottom watering doesn't, is draw out the fertilizer as well. So it will leach fertilizer out every time you water it, which is why I put a little bit of fertilizer in nearly every time I water, just make up for that. Okay. You don't want more light. I might put eucalyptus next to the window. Okay, I also need to put a dripper in this one to water that moss pole. And I'm going to leave her quite damp because she hasn't had water for a while. Put this back and then get that dripper onto it. Let's see if I can actually maneuver. Around a bit, so. Okay, how I've got this will make the leaves turn around the moss pole, which is never the best thing, but if I have the moss pole facing the window with how it is now, there's a lot of leaves that are going to be touching the glass and they do just burn. You saw on that monstera. Even in winter, the glass just, yeah. And I'll put the rock back. So that no cats can knock over. Okay, now this is just the monstera adansonii. Again, it's also unhappy because it's been neglected. These ones are the hardest ones to get to water, which is a terrible excuse. It's not really an excuse at all. It's a terrible reason why they're neglected, but it is what it is. Like I said at the beginning of the first part of this, the first part of the other video, I haven't been well, so everything has been neglected for a while. My wife works away for a majority of the week. So plant, and also they're my plants. So plant care is like my job. And she does help out a lot when she's here. But yeah, there's some things that we just don't get to. This one also needs a moss pole extension, but you can see new growth point here, new growth point here, new growth point here. This is an entirely new plant down here. Doesn't look like there's anything coming out there, but yeah, so there's where I've top chopped it to get those cuttings. It's done really well. Could do with a little bit extra soil in here, and if I'm going to put soil in, I'm going to plant a couple of these cuttings. I never plan these videos. I never plan. I don't plan much at all, to be honest. But I'm never quite sure what I'm going to be doing, because a lot of it just depends on what I find when I'm looking at the plant, what condition things are in, that kind of thing. About to get a delivery, so the dog is going to go nuts. These two are good ones. Oh, this one's a good one. All right, I have made an error in how I am holding this soil. It's probably overkill, but better too much than too little. Okay. You in the middle, and you fit on that side. You there. Let me get too much soil on this little bubby here. The little bubby is actually growing out of a stem that I looped around the bottom when I push it into this pot. Again, don't want to press down too hard, just sort of make sure that they're in there. This soil still has some lumps of coconut coir where I haven't quite mixed it in enough. And because of the other day I grabbed some soil and there was a massive big cat shit in it, and I put it, and wet coconut coir in a lump kind of has the same texture as cat shit. So I'm like, ooh. But this soil is kept outside, and the cats do not go outside unless they are on a leash. And if they're on a leash, I'm not going to let them shit in my soil. There is a big root coming up off of that stem that's buried, that has that baby. Just gonna make sure I cover that too. Pull these little baby leaves back out. Nice. Give it a little bit of water, even though that soil is pretty damp, just to make sure those water roots are happy. Fill the soil a little bit, and then you can go back in your sunny spot. There's some roots for this plant. There's roots coming out the bottom of the pot. Which is funny because it's not root bound at all. A leaf supremacy who gets to go in front. Yeah. This I got for my birthday from Jillian a couple of years ago. It is the Rapidifora decursiva. Rapidifora decursiva. And again, it's never been happy. There are, check this, there's a baby down here that is stuck. Come out, come out. So that's from a new growth point. Just release those leaves and then they can unfurl at their leisure. And are you new? No, you're not new. You're old. Okay. Unwrap some of this because it is going a little bit green. Yeah, there is quite a few plants in here. I can have the rest of this soil. Yeah, because again, I had a long chain of bits. But yeah, the bits that I have put up on this moss pole don't actually seem to be doing much apart from the mother plant, which is what the leaves are from. Damage to my reel, damn it. I'm just tucking these other bits more into the moss pole in the hope that if more nodes are touching moss, is that even better than touching grass? Touching moss. If some more nodes are touching moss, then they might decide they want to wake up. Cool. Okay. I don't even know what's happening with the top of this. Where I top cut it. No new growth. Turn around so you can see. Yeah, so this is where I top cut. It is well rooted into the moss pole, but it's just not growing. Whereas this bit down here, this is new growth, and this little puppy is new growth. I do have, I believe, a cutting to put in here. Where is it? You can barely tell because they hardly have any leaves because it was just a vine. But yeah, look, it's a new growth on these. What shall we do? We shall plant sometimes the roots, I mean, this was cut too close to the bottom, that node has rotted. So yeah, so I will clip here and here, plant that one. And here, and plant all this. And then these ones I might actually do in another pot. Okay. So, get some of the gunk. That is one thing about water props. They can get gunky if anything rots. You can put hydrogen peroxide in your water to make it less gunky. but I have found that really inhibits the growth. It slows it right down. Bit where are you connected? There we are. Right, put you down here. I can actually get a hole. Be very careful not to disturb the roots of the plants that are already in here, but also this is not it. Just use this bit. Also actually get these roots into where they can get some dampness to begin with and then nutrient. Alright, and now this one, I'm going to try and promote that root as well. Just chop this bit off. And then this one can be, start that other root here and just put the plant in this little trench that I'm making. Put you in first. Did not do the trench long enough. Okay. And just backfill. Make sure you are nice and backfilled as well. Okay. This it's a very sad Hello Kitty. Okay. I'm just going to pop these guys back. Nope. Nearly lost a toe. Alright, last one. Philodendron radiatum. This is another one I got from Cheryl. It's weird. Oh. These are, because they're on top of the piano, they're very much just reflected light. I don't think they get any full sun at all, maybe a tiny bit in the very late afternoon. Hence sort of some of the retarded, and I mean that in like it's literally stunted way. But still growing. This is all new since I did this top cutting. But yeah, she just doesn't know how she wants to grow. And then yeah, so this is new-ish. And then there's this little teeny tiny baby just coming up from gosh knows where. This is also known as a cut leaf philodendron. Guess you can see why. I'm actually going to see if I can get this new growth over to the other side of this pole. So how well stuck in are you? Oh. stuck in it all. That is never a good thing. Oh. Oh. Maybe this one is one that doesn't appreciate moss pole life as much as some of her fellows. Make it so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So yeah, so I've just swapped this one over to that side because there's more room, and now I'm just doing this one up just around this little bit, and then from then on, because it's got this bend in it, I don't know, that one's not even going to fit in there. I think that's why this is not for roots yet, because this is fairly thick stem and it needs quite a bit of contact with that moss in order to do decent roots into the pole, and it's just not getting the contact that it needs for a stem that thick to think about, hey, I would like to grow. Nice leaves. That's still, I want to put that, okay. I also, when I first got these poles, and this is from when I first got the 3.0s from the Leafy brand, I didn't put every single, so I didn't, you can see this one's behind. I didn't put every one over, and now I know that that was a mistake. I mean, I could technically fix it, but not with something this thick. So yeah, so now if I have a straight stem, and that's why I have those other things on bamboo stakes to keep them straight, so it's easier to transfer into a moss pole. Yeah, I like everywhere I can put them into the moss, I do. So obviously this bend here, not going to go into the moss, but everything else can. And I'll just top this moss up the top. I'm going to watch this back and find out that you can only see to like here or something. Keep saying you can only do what you can do, and I've just put overlays in. B-roll. Okay, and then let me try and water that with the watering can, the moss I mean. But where did I put that spray bottle? Oh, okay. But I didn't put something this controlled. I can sort of just slowly introduce little bits. Just get that a little bit more saturated. Yeah, see, it wants to run out the front. So we kind of try and convince it to go down the back. This pole is quite damp, despite not having a dripper in a week, and that is because of where it is, because it doesn't have any full sun. The plant doesn't need to use as much water. You do need to actually water it though. Sometimes in winter the drippers are actually just enough. If you fill the Coke and Pepsi bottles that are attached to them up the whole way. But that is kind of like top watering without letting it drain, so I do like to take them off and do this every now and again. And I also swap them around, so this one is going to go back closer to the wall. This one's going to go further away from the wall. It doesn't make much difference in what access to light they have. But I do turn the leaves towards where they will get as much light as possible. Ooh. Just found a bunch of nasturtium seeds. Piano's a magical place. Obviously, I don't know if you can see it from this angle. I'll zoom out a little bit later so you can see the room, but the piano, our wedding bouquets are dried and on there, one of my speakers, some plants, my little glass house, a combi van ornament. And then, yeah, like there's stuff on the lid that goes over the keys. Yeah, the lid. We never, or very rarely, use it as a piano. You can't even get to it. The couch is butted up against it and under it. It is still vaguely in tune, which I just find incredible. One more. I said that was the last one. I lied. It's a very sad syngonium that there's a pot there that the cats have been using as a jumping off point from the piano. But I'm giving up on that. It is dead. Right. This is still damp. This doesn't need water. It's fine. I will just pull some of these. That's a sun. Some of these dead leaves off. This is arbor or fantasy. Little baby here. Chop that bit off because it is just going to die. Oh, I dropped scissors on the floor, didn't I? Okay. Again, I do like to take some of the rotting matter out. I find that Podophyllum doesn't particularly appreciate the pulp. I was kind of like, oh, I can grow them up, and they will split lovingly for me. Just break the tip off that, but I don't care. Yeah. They're not even close to splitting, and they're not happy about being on here. And because I let them go too long without straightening them, yeah, up here we've got some decent growth. And this is, tuck this into the moss pole and top up that moss pole. Yeah, I think if you were going to do moss poles, you are much better off doing them from the very start, like when the plant is only little. And then yeah, they get that straight growth pattern, or train it to be straight from little before you can put it on a pole. Straight stems are just a lot easier because it's a straight pole. If you've got something that wiggles both this way and that way, yes, it's quite hard to manage it. I like that leaf out. This pole is still damp as well, which is good. Doesn't need a dripper added. Just close this up and then I will water that moss at the top. Okay. Now, as much as you can, you don't want the leaf this bit. Is that the petiole? I am useless when it comes to the plant terms. I am definitely not a botanist. Cool. But yeah, you don't want these in like budding against your moss because they will just rot. They don't appreciate it. I'm going to have to do this with a watering can. So use all the other water. Put it back so it goes down the back, hopefully. Slowly, slowly. That'll do. Alright, hopefully with that little extra bit of moss, this top growth can continue. It is growing as close to the window as it can. So there is this stem, which is the fantasy, which is, I mean, it's a half moon, so I'm going to say it's an elbow. And this one, which might have been a white butterfly. What did I have? I had 3 kings. It's not a 3 kings. I'm not sure. If I figure it out, I'll put it on the screen. Okay, put that one back. And then we're done. I will take you in this video to show you the rest of my Syngonium collection, which is over there. So as promised, Syngonium collection. Oh, it's also really dark today because it's raining. This is the panda. Really pretty variegation on this one. This is the newest leaf that's still unfurling, so it's super soft. Jesus Christ. Actually, no, maybe that's a 3 kings. And then this is the panda. So it's different plants. Where are you from? Yeah, that looks more like 3 kings. And then this is panda. And it just started raining again. And then I think that's just a normal Syngonium. But yeah, you can see multi-planted pots. And then this, what have I got in here? Strawberry ice and pink confetti. It's really raining and I'm about to take my son to school. Glad I let my dog in when I did. So yeah, I don't think I have any pink confetti left in here. Oh, maybe. Oh, that's the confetti maybe, because it's got the white in the middle with the pink splotches, whereas the butterfly is just the green, the solid green. Then I have my red arrow. This is my favorite Syngonium. It's growing new out the bottom here, which is annoying because I top chopped it and I really wanted it to grow up more. But if you look at the back of these leaves, so that really lovely burgundy colour. Oh, you've stopped chewing on boxes and actually gonna eat food now? Good job. And this is the one that I was telling you that's got the big bend in it. So that's, here's where it's in the soil and then it comes out and that's where it was hanging. but this one goes up. This is a capcut leaf. And then, yeah, there's the fantasy. So Tuna is eating her breakfast just there. Tuna, you say hi? Tuna. She's eating. Anyway, and then up the back here, if I tilt the light up, shadows, you can see I've just got a normal syngonium that's coming from the back here and going all the way up to the ceiling. And then out the back here, I just have a normal green one, I think. That hasn't been growing very well because it hasn't had much light on it, but you can see it's really trying with all those growth points. Does that one have a name? No, yeah, so that's just your basic green. So yeah, just a couple of cool types. Hey, Chance. Good girl. And then over here I have a fantasy. Really lovely variegation on this one. And over here, this is the Wendlandii, which is more of a velvet leaf. This is a aureatum, which has the more split leaf shape. There is a red sun here, which is dying. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that's actually already dead. And then this is the Three Kings. So you can see this variegation in the middle. This is a better leaf to show you. That's the dark. Like technically it's an outer variegation of the light, but yeah, pretty. Sad about this red sun. How disappointing. Oh, also have to water those up there. Let's do that real quick. Put you back. All right, these poor babies. Always get neglected because they are out of sight, out of mind. Evidenced by the thing, like people just don't look up. This one needs a bamboo stake, a big bamboo stake, so I'll go and get that from outside. Look at the water first. And yeah, it's the same, like I try and stake them at least a little bit just to keep them upright as much as possible. Right, water, bamboo stakes. Julian's gonna see that and be like, I saw you wet the couch. You didn't, babe. I didn't wet the couch. You're dreaming. Don't gaslight your wives, people. It's not nice, but I didn't wet the couch. There's no water on there. This is not the water that you seek. Got a bunch so I can have a stirrer as well. Okay, I'm just going to do it at the back here. This one does have quite a lot of moss on it. This one, I should probably put some moss on this one too. So yeah, because I forget about it and it dries out. So the moss just helps seal in that soil moisture for a little bit longer. But yeah, don't do it to everything, because not everything likes staying moist. Most arrows are used to drying out, and what I have is mostly arrows, mostly Philodendron monstera, and Syngonium. Yeah, a lot of them do like to dry out in between being watered so they don't rot. But that said, I actually lose more plants to dry rot than wet rot, if that makes sense. Like they dry out too much. The roots shrivel because they're trying to keep in as much water as they can, so that, and then you wet the plant, like soak it, and because the roots are all, they can't absorb that water, and it just sits there against the root, and the root rots, and that's how you get dry rot that causes wet rot. Whereas wet rot, like root rot, just generally is the soil is too damp and the roots just are sitting in water, bacteria builds up, the roots rot. Can I explain that? Okay. Okay, tying these. Now, can you guys lie down for me for a minute? Is that okay? Just have a little rest. Wish I could just have a little rest. I think I've got 5 in here, it looks like, but some of them might actually be the same plant. Yeah, it looks like this one here is a offshoot of this big one. The reason again, is it petiole? And this is internoidal, and then this, I'm pretty sure this is petiole. The reason it's so long in these is because they are above window height, so they are constantly searching for light. But plants, when they look for light, they usually, if there is no light, they will just grow up in the hope of finding some light. Unfortunately, there's just a ceiling. Ain't no light. And then, yeah, the weight, because these are so long, the weight of long petiole and leaf ends up bending the stem. And I have, so you can see that bend, I have actually had plants break from their own weight if I've left it too long. I've just done this without actually, no, there is enough room. Is there enough room to fit this back under the ceiling on top of the bookshelf? I do like long form video of just yapping. Like, I like other people doing it. I like watching people do plant chores and sort of that opportunity to body double, because body doubling is the only reason that I ever get anything done. I have well medicated but still pretty severe ADHD, and I am quite neurospicy, in case you couldn't tell. So it's most of my family, which is good. We're all just freaks together. I was going somewhere with this and it's gone. ADHD. No, it's gone. Editing me will tell you where I was going with that tangent. Oh, getting stuff done, body doubling, plant chores. Yeah, so I like long form videos where people just do plant chores and just yap, because it means that I can do plant chores and just yap, but also videoing myself like this, doing plant chores and yapping, is kind of the same as body doubling, because I'm basically treating the camera, you guys, as if you are an actual person in the room with me, and I'm just yapping at you, and you're not saying much back, but some people be like that. I don't hold it against you at all. This is a mess, but it's not It's not gonna get any better. I will do my chop chop on this one though. Losing a lot of dexterity, which means it is time to stop. See, sometimes I do recognize my bodily limitations. She says and keeps going. And speaking of sort of buying cheap stuff, this twine is from the dollar store. It was the 3 balls for like $2. I don't. Hey, if you can use stuff that's not labelled for gardening, you're always going to save money that way. I really don't want to complicate water. Just to wet this moss down. After saying I didn't want to get muck in the water, it's all right. This water is now going to go to the ficus forest. They don't mind a little bit of moss and such. Just grab something. Grab one of these. It's full of rocks. Okay. Cat's looking at me like, don't spill that on me. But the cat that is within stilling range is just fast asleep. Chip was a street cat when we got her. You can follow her on Instagram, Corn Chip the kitty. Yeah, I really wanted a red cat to go with my red dog. Where is the red dog? And so yeah, when we went to Cat Haven, we waited ages. We went because I have foster cats, and we sort of wanted to get a cat through the people that I foster with, but they did not have any long-haired gingers for like a year. So we went to Cat Haven in the city, and yeah, she was there, and they were like, she's this old. They said that she was 18 months old, I think, and she wasn't super fluffy. She was like medium hair. They actually had her as a domestic short hair, I'm pretty sure, or domestic medium hair. Yeah, so she was orange. She was a girl. She does have a heart murmur. They did tell us that, but also so do the 2 other cats I have that we own. So yeah, and yeah, they were like, yeah, she's 18 months old. And I looked at her and I was like, that's a fucking kitten. That's not 18 months old. And we brought her home and she hid behind the couch for a couple of days, and then she came out and she got along with the other cats, and she gets along with the dog, and she's very self-assured. She does whatever she wants. She's not super affectionate, but she does want attention. So she doesn't like being cuddled, but she likes pats and attention and brushing and things like that. And she's really good with the brush. But I'll insert a picture here of what she looked like when we got her, and that was the 7th of January, 9th of January, one of those. And I'll disturb her sleep and show you what she looks like now. Chip chip. peoples. I literally just woke her up. She's so... Oh. But yeah. 18-month-old cats don't grow to be 3 times the size. I know, sweetie. I know. Be baby. Good girl. Like, they don't grow to 3 times as bigger than they are when you got them. And like, she's the fluffiest thing I've ever seen. I love you so much. You were definitely worth the wait. I was. You're a beautiful girl, aren't you? And she's tolerant of me. Aren't you, baby girl? Let me get the eyeglass. Thank you. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, beautiful. Go back in your fluff bed. There you go. No, I've disturbed you too much. Sorry, Chip. Okay, anyway, I'm done. I will insert the various things later on when I get around to editing this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more of me, you should subscribe to my channel, then you don't miss anything. And yeah, I don't have an intro or an outro, and I definitely wouldn't remember one if I tried to have one, so clicking a thumbs up is it. Here is the Rio in question.
Okay, bye, I love you.
Bye, I love you. And I think we got up to in there. So what we missed was my wife's Goldilocks pothos, which is on a moss pole growing very well. This mystery guy that has really cool leaves, also on a moss pole. Echo, stop it. And this mystery guy, who also has very similar cool leaves. Ooh, let's try and grab one out without breaking it. So it's like a real long syngonium shaped leaf. Very cool. And nicely, the sun just came out, just in time for the video. I don't know if I showed you this. This is the Philodendron Celium. I hate it. I think it's ugly as hell. Jillian's friend got it for her as a present, and it is going pretty well. Down here we have my Chiapence. She's going lovely on this pole. She's beautiful. I love the Chiapence. Okay, so this one, yeah, not sure what it is. Some kind of syngonium Chiapence cross. Also very happy on the moss pole, has outgrown it. Here is my velvet philodendron. This is the Splendid, which is a mix of a couple of different philodendron species. Oh no, it is just the Melanochrysum. So it must be the other velvety one that I have. Yeah, the creeping velvet, that is across. I also showed you this beautiful philodendron Jacquinii. This is actually a creeper, goes along the ground. It's got 2 nice bits coming out, 2 lovely new leaves. That one's still hardening off. This one is actually still hardening off as well. It's a bit, and they're huge. So that's beautiful. What's not beautiful is my wife's pink princess philodendron, which I think is ugly and has the worst growth pattern ever. But yeah, she likes it because it's pink. We have this fantasy. This pot actually has quite a few. So it's got fantasy and whatever this one is. But also the cats. Oh, and it's got a bowl, a basic green as well. The cats love to eat whatever is in this pot. I had 2 pots like this that were on the ground, and I had to get rid of the other one because the cats just ate so much of it. Yeah, so epipremnum skeleton key. If this was on a moss pole, it would be huge and fenestrated. The Dracaena gold dust, a sad Brazil, a mystery epipremnum with 1 leaf. Another one I got off Cheryl. I'm hoping this grows. We'll see. And yeah, this is this part of the jungle. It is the time of day where we get the disco ball reflecting, even though it's been raining for all of the week. But yeah, just wanted to give you an overview. You could probably see from that last little clip how tangled everything gets, and how hard it is to actually show you individual leaves without pulling everything out like I did. This is just part of it as well. This is just the dining room jungle. So I'll do another video on the other half of the house. And yeah, see you in the next one.